Okay, so statistics, what is this unit going to be about? It is a branch of applied mathematics that involves the collection, right? We collect data. We're not going to do the collection in this class. Description and analysis that you can infer of conclusions of quantitative data, okay? Okay, this sounds very scary, but we're going to sometimes be asked to describe what our answers mean and maybe say a little something about what we can conclude by doing some calculations or after doing some calculations, okay? So let's dive right in. There's a blank page there, which I will fill in at a later date. Measures of central tendencies, MCTs. Page 3. If you ever see this, measures of central tendency, central is trying to find the middle. So these are measures that are trying to find the middle of our data set. And these are mean, median, and mode. And I know you've probably heard of this. I mean, COVID happened when you were in junior high, right? So who knows what they cut out. Teachers cut out stuff during COVID. A measure of central tendency is a number around which the data clusters. In mathematics, there are several different measures of central tendency. The most common is the arithmetic mean. Okay, highlight this one. This is what we're going to start with. The arithmetic mean, usually called the average in everyday language. The arithmetic mean is denoted, right? So the arithmetic mean has the symbol X with a little bar on top. It is found by adding all the values and dividing that sum by the number of values. So this is probably a good one. So you should have a new section on your study sheet labeled statistics, right? And the arithmetic mean, the average, is found by adding all of them up, dividing it by the number of values you've added. By the way, this is important here. Include units. 99% of the time, your values will mean something. It'll be minutes, number of texts, number of trips, liters used, blah, 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 right? And round your answer to 2 decimals. So here's our first example. Patrick earned the following amounts over a 6-month period from January to June. It says calculate his average monthly income. Can I just put down the province may just say calculate the mean income? See, if you tell me Mr. Dirkson's got a mean income, I'm thinking, yeah, it's a good one, right? But whatever. Mean is just average, right? So how would we do that here? You would show the work as follows. You just add it all up. I will do it the long way. You do not have to show me this in the future. You can just show me what the sum amounts to, okay? You don't have to actually show me plus, 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 plus in the future. And then we divide it by 6 income, like 6 months, right? You can actually write down months. So every single one of these numbers represents a month, okay? So the average income would be 10,900 divided by 6. And so this is the equivalent of making 1,816 and 6/7 a month. It's very easy to come by these days. Do you remember in grade 11 a practical application of this? Like, why would you want to do this when it comes to money specifically? So I'm just guessing that most of you are not working full time, and most of you are not working the same shift every single week. You might have a little bit more, a little bit less, right? You pick up more. Why would someone want to do this? Do you remember in grade 11, did you do budgeting in grade 11? Yeah. So you kind of want to know, well, okay, like I'm making all these different amounts. How much am I making on average? Like how much do I if I were to spread out my money evenly amongst all the months, you're expecting to make this much a month. That's one application of it. Like how much you should not be spending more than this, right, in a month, in my opinion. Another application would be, let's say you do this exact same calculation 10 years from now, 10 years from your age. What would you expect this number to be? Probably higher, right? You're probably going $3,000, $4,000 a month. So you can tell that your income has gone up, right? So it's a measure as well, okay? All right, one more thing here. This is basically what the average is. Add everything up, divide it by the number of values you've used. Another thing here is, have you heard of the term outliers? Have you? Outliers? No? I'm trying to gauge if your teachers have done anything in junior high. You probably played Minecraft most of the time, right? That's probably what you did in junior high. What is an outlier? Values that are significantly different. Values that are significantly different than the general trend. The name says it all. They lie outside the set. There could be one or more. I'm not going to do the graph because we're not going to need to graph in this course, but I'm just going to show you what it would be. That way you have an idea of what that would look like. But if I were to plot my income like over these months, this is what happens. Okay, this is what I see. And the average is kind of like spreading out your income evenly. That is your income, your average there. Okay, and this is the actual income here. April, why is April so low? That's, I don't know if you remember, end of March, that's when everything shut down for a while. A lot of people got laid off. So that was my idea there. You see that little dip? Okay. The outlier, which one would be the outlier if you look here? So you're making your income, all of a sudden you're way down here. If you look at your numbers, which one is the lowest number by far? It's 800, right? So that's the one I would expect you to identify it. Okay, so we're going to do that right now. Outliers, $800 is the outlier. Probably during the month of April. Significantly lower. Lower than the other months. So in general, there could be times where we wouldn't want to include that weird time in our lives, right? Like that April, it's like an oddball. So we will look later at removing that one, okay? We call that trimmed mean. So that's something there for you to know. So this one is going to bring down your average because it's a low outlier. It actually pulls it down. So your income is probably higher than that, but this one brings it down, okay? Can I just add some? No, I will do that later. Let's keep going. Page 4. Here I'm going to talk about the median and the mode, okay? So you've got your median and you've got your mode. The median is probably that you don't really calculate it very often. It's just a number you pick. It's the middle value. And it's most easily found if it's listed in ascending or descending order. Okay? You have to like arrange it. If there's an even number of values, the median is the average or mean of the two middle numbers. Okay? If there's an even number of values, the median or average is the two middle numbers. That's important as well. Just make sure you first arrange it. I'm going to use a different color here. Always arrange in descending, ascending or descending order for median. Okay? No. Page 4. If you have an odd number of values, then just pick the middle number. You must have an equal amount of values on either side. That's how you know you got it right. So I will tell you this, for now it's going to be somewhat trial and error. So this is what? 5 values. This is odd. Just pick. Which one is it? Is this arranged? It is arranged. So from smallest to largest. So the middle number is this one right here. And how do you know you got this right? Because remember, guys, you're going to get a bigger set of values. So just count. Is there the same amount on either side? There's 2 here, 2 there. It's your median. So therefore, median is 6 units. I'm just going to throw on the word unit so you get used to that. That's it. That would be the median. It's in the middle. Okay. If you have an even number of values, then you calculate the mean of the two middle values. So first of all, it's arranged. I did that for us already. And you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 values. That is even. Calculate. You can't just pick a number. You have to calculate. So here's what I'm going to do. The median is going to be found by using those 2 values. So how do you know you're doing this right? If you cover that, you've got 2 above, 2 below. So the median is going to be 6 plus 10. By the way, these could be negative values, so we're going to bump into that later on. 6 plus 10 divided by 2. It's always divided by 2. You're finding the midpoint between the two. 16 divided by 2 is 8 units. So that is our median in this particular case. Note that it's not a value in our set, right, per se, but that is the median. Okay, you try. Determine the median for each one of these 2, please. I'll do my attendance in the meantime. It should take you. All right. So the first one here, 2, 4, 6, 7. Okay, 7 values. Odd. Just pick one. Okay, so it's this one. Kind of, if you want to check to make sure, cover it up. There's 3 on both sides. You're fine. Okay, so the median is 6 units. Done. The next one, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 values. That's even. Calculate. If you need to have this on your study sheet, like that the median needs to be either picked or you need to calculate it, you go for it. So my guess is right about here. It's these 2 values. There's 3 on either side. So the median here is 6 plus 10 divided by 2. That's 16 divided by 2. That's still 8. So the median is 8 units. Could the median be a decimal? Yes. Can it be negative? Yes. All of the, like, that's absolutely not a problem, right? One more thing I need you to add here to this page, because it doesn't show up elsewhere. At the bottom of this here, median tells us that half of the values are above and half are below it. This is in a cloud. Okay? Median tells us that half of the values are above and half of the values are below it. That's very important. I'm going to ask you that from time to time. The province will ask you that from time to time. Multiple choice, describe, you name it. Okay? And now we're going to talk mode. On page 5. Everybody's leaving now. See you Monday. You too. Page 5, the mode. The mode is a set of numbers, right? Of a set of numbers is the number that occurs most often, okay? Most popular. The number that occurs most often is the mode. Please tell yourselves that on a study sheet, because a lot of students forget that, okay? You could have either no mode, one mode, or several modes, okay? So I'll give you an example. No mode if each number appears the same number of times. So let's say you have a 2 and a 2, a 3 and a 3, 5 and a 5, 11 and 11. Hey, we gotta throw this one in there. 67, 67, right? In this case, you have no mode, okay? So please say, if I ask you what is the mode, please don't put 0. You just say no mode or not applicable, okay? A common error that students make, and they make it all the time, is say that mode is 0. This is not true. Then you're telling me that 0 is the most popular value here. That's not correct, okay? So don't say that, just say no mode, and you're fine. You can have just one, if just one is most popular, so let's go 2, 2, 3, 3, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7. How's that? Okay, so in this case, that is your mode. You only have one number that appears most often, which is 67 units. You could have more than one mode if you go 2, 2, 2, let's say, 3, 3, 5, 5, 11, 11, 6, 7, 6, 7, 6, 7, right? Like that. Here, the 2 and the 67, and just keep in mind, they could be anywhere. In this case, I have them both on the ends here, but just make sure you look at it, and it's like, in this case, mode would be 2 67 units, right? So you're saying either one of them would be the modes here. And I'm going to add something, a note here. The mode is not always a good measure of central tendency. Make sure you write this down. The mode is not always a good measure of central tendency. It doesn't give you the middle necessarily, okay? The mean is most affected by outliers. That's another very important point. I'm going to actually cloud this in and highlight it. Very, very central key concepts in this unit. So for example, let's talk about the last one here, mean. If I told you the average income of, let's figure out the average income for this class right now. And you include me in that. Our income, our average income would look pretty good because I make the big bucks, okay guys? Right? If you include me into your income, boom, all of a sudden it goes up. I am the outlier, right? I have a full-time job. I get paid whether I come to work or not, by the way. If I call in sick, I still get paid, right? I have a salary. So I am the outlier. I would actually skew that mean. It would not be accurate. It would not really tell you how much students make in this class. So in that case, you wouldn't want to include the outlier. Okay, you would not want to include my income, just to make it more accurate. So outliers really affect your mean, so you got to watch out for that. They might ask you, why is mean not a good idea in this case? Yeah. Like if a hockey player joins this class, makes 2-3 million, oh, we're doing pretty good. The class is making a lot of money, right? Students are making a lot of money. No, hockey players, that's an outlier. And then the mode is also not a very good, because remember, measure of central tendency is trying to find the middle. I show you clearly that the mode is not a very good indicator of what the middle is here, right? It's actually the extremes. When would you use mode? Mode is referred to a measure of central tendency. It does not necessarily lie towards the center. Mode is used in different situations. For example, a store owner might want to use the mode to figure out which size t-shirt to order most of, right? So let's say medium size is selling the most. Then you're going to obviously stock up on that size more than anything else. The mean or the median wouldn't really help the store owner in that particular case. So it has its time and its place. Okay. I'm going to ask you to work right away here. Try out your knowledge of mean, median, and mode. And so I'm going to ask you, and some are longer and some are not that, like, don't take as long to do. I will go 6 to 8 for now. Okay, so try pages 6 to 8. You're going to be asked to find the mean, the median, and the mode, and identify any outliers if there are any. So let's go to page 6. I'll just give you a little startup. And every single data set has a unit attached to it. Okay, I want you to make sure you're asked to find the median, guys. Listen to this part. So please arrange it first, like arrange it right away. So for example, you want me to do one with you? All right. You're not sick and tired of listening to me, that's fine. So I'm going to arrange it first here. So how about this? Arrange for the median. Okay, I'm going to arrange this thing. So 0 comes first. Cross it out just lightly. The next one is 3. Cross it off just lightly. Then you've got 6, 7. It's as if I knew what was going to happen in the future, eh? 6, 7, 8. Next is 12. The next one is 19. Okay? So you've arranged it. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values. So for the median, this is an odd number of values. Pick median. Okay? Pick median. So I just have to pick this one right here. Median is 7 what? 7 hours. Boom, you've got your median taken care of. The mean, let's do the mean here. It's X bar. We're going to add up those 7 values and then divide it by 7. Okay, because there are 7 values here. So grab your calculator. At the very least, I need you to show me what the sum is. So 0, you don't have to go 0 plus 3, but hey, it's up to you. So it's 55. So all hours added up is 55, divided by 7. So we're going to go divide this by 7. The average hours worked would be 7.86. Round to 2 decimals, okay? 7.86 hours. That is your mean. Okay, so we've got our median, our mean, and what else do we need? We need a mode. Do we have a mode in this case? Abby says no, and she is right. And the reason being is everything shows up the same number of times. If they all show up once, or if they all show up twice, or if they all show up 3 times, if they all show up the same number of times, there's no mode. Okay, boom, you've got mean, median, mode. Is there an outlier that we can observe? Outlier. Some of you might disagree with me today on this. One can argue that 19 is an upper outlier. Because look at, like, there's 3 here difference. 3, 1, 1, 4, but then all of a sudden you jump 7. So 19, someone working 19 hours, that's a long shift, right? Why could that be? I don't know if you are familiar with nurses. If you have a nurse in your family, they are sometimes mandated to work overtime, like they don't have a choice. They're trying to get rid of that, but maybe that could be an explanation. Or, you know, there was some kind of issue, machines broke down, you really needed to stay to finish that job, yada, 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 right? So this is what you do with everything, pages 6 to 8. Once we get to 9, I'll come back and guide you a little bit. All right? So I'm going to post the key. I'm going to